Be prepared. March 17th changes everything, and I mean everything. Right now, as you're watching this, the universe is arranging the final pieces of a cosmic puzzle that only comes together once a year. Most people will wake up on March 17th with absolutely no idea that they're standing at the threshold of their destiny. They'll go about their day, scroll through their phones, complain about the same problems they've been carrying for months, maybe even years, and they'll completely miss the window. But you're different. You're here right now because something inside you sensed this moment coming. Maybe you've been feeling restless lately, like you're on the edge of something massive, but you can't quite name it. Maybe you've been having unusually vivid dreams, or you keep seeing repeating numbers, or you just have this inexplicable knowing that your life is about to shift in a major way. That's not coincidence. That's your soul recognizing what's coming. Your higher self has been preparing you for this exact moment, and the fact that you found this video right now, out of millions of possibilities, is the universe confirming that you're ready. Because here's what most people don't understand about the cosmic new year. Everyone talks about the vernal equinox on March 20th as if that's when the magic happens. And yes, March 20th is powerful. It's the moment when the sun crosses the celestial equator, when day and night balance perfectly, when the astrological year officially begins as the sun enters Aries. That's the moment the cosmic clock resets. But March 17th is something else entirely. March 17th is the preparation day, the secret gateway that determines whether you enter the new cosmic year with momentum or resistance. Think of it like this. March 20th is the grand opening, but March 17th is when the VIP guests get early access. It's when the universe opens the back door for those who are paying attention. And there's one specific reason this is hitting you right now, at this exact moment in your life. I'll explain exactly why later in this video. But first you need to understand the cosmic mechanics at play, because once you see how this energy works, you'll realize why the next 72 hours are the most critical window you'll face all year. Let me take you back to something that happened 10 days ago. On March 3rd, a total lunar eclipse ripped through the sky in Virgo. You felt it. Maybe you didn't understand it at the time, but you felt it. That sudden exhaustion that came out of nowhere. The way plans started falling apart for no logical reason. Projects stalling, conversations going sideways, systems breaking down. That wasn't bad luck. That was clearing. The eclipse in Virgo, conjunct the South Node, came through like a cosmic editor, cutting out every single thing in your life that was built on control, perfectionism, or the exhausting need to have everything figured out before you take a step. Virgo wants to organize, analyze, perfect, but the North Node in Pisces is calling you towards something completely different. Faith, flow, surrender, and those two energies cannot coexist. So the eclipse forced your hand. It stripped away the illusion that you can logic your way into your destiny. You can't. You never could. And somewhere deep down, you already knew that. But knowing something intellectually and being forced to live it are two completely different experiences. For the past 2 weeks, you've been walking through a void, a space where the old structures are gone, but the new path hasn't fully materialized yet. It's uncomfortable. It's disorienting. It feels like you're floating in the dark with no coordinates, no map, no guarantee that solid ground even exists anymore. But that void isn't emptiness. That's sacred space. The universe just cleared room in your life for something massive to enter. And on March 17th, that something begins to arrive. Now let me tell you what's happening in the sky on March 17th that makes this day so cosmically significant. Mars, the planet of action, willpower, and sheer determination, aligns with the North Node of Destiny at 8 degrees Pisces. This is what astrologers call a karmic accelerator, a moment when the universe stops whispering and starts demanding. Mars is the warrior, It's the part of you that takes action, that fights for what you want, that refuses to back down. But Mars has been moving through Pisces since March 2nd. And Pisces is not Mars' natural territory. Pisces is water. It's boundless. It's the ocean. And you can't punch water. You can't force your way through mist. Mars in Pisces demands that you become the spiritual warrior. And that's a completely different archetype than the traditional warrior. The spiritual warrior doesn't fight against the current. They move with it. They don't conquer. They align. They don't force. They surrender to a higher flow. This is the paradox you're living right now. You're being asked to take massive, courageous action. But the action required isn't logical. It isn't strategic. It's intuitive. It's the kind of move that makes 0 sense on paper, but feels absolutely undeniable in your soul. Maybe it's walking away from something that looks successful but feels spiritually dead. Maybe it's finally saying yes to something you've been terrified of for years. Maybe it's a creative leap, a relational risk, a complete reinvention of your identity. Whatever it is, you already know what it is. Your body knows. Your dreams know. That quiet voice inside you that's been getting louder every single day. That's your soul preparing you for March 17th. And here's where the timing becomes absolutely critical. March 17th isn't just about Mars hitting the North Node. It's also a Tiger Day in the Chinese zodiac, a day of 10,000 fond fortune. And it carries the blessing of Bishamonten, the god of warriors and victory. For those of you who resonate with Eastern astrology, you already understand the weight of this. The tiger represents courage, power, and the ability to overcome obstacles that seem insurmountable. When Mars, the Western symbol of the warrior, aligns with the North Node on a Tiger Day, you're looking at a convergence of warrior energy from multiple spiritual traditions. This isn't just one system telling you to act. This is the universe speaking in multiple languages at once, making absolutely sure you get the message. But there's something even deeper happening beneath the surface. Mercury has been retrograde in Pisces throughout this entire period, scrambling your thoughts, making it impossible to think straight, dissolving the boundaries of logic. On March 7th, Mercury formed a Seer's Emi, a perfect alignment with the Sun at 16 degrees Pisces. This is called being in the heart of the Sun, and it's a moment of pure, brilliant clarity in the middle of the retrograde fog. You might have received a flash of insight that day, a sudden knowing, a piece of the puzzle clicking into place. That wasn't random. That was your higher self downloading the coordinates you'd need for March 17th. And then, on March 15th, just 2 days before the Mars node conjunction, retrograde Mercury will conjunct Mars at the exact degree where the destiny activation happens. Your mind will be processing everything at maximum intensity. Thoughts and emotions will be completely fused. This is not the time to explain yourself to anyone. Let the integration happen internally. On March 17th itself, Mercury retrogrades back over the North Node, giving you one more flash of clarity, one more download about the path forward. And then, on March 20th, the Vernal Equinox, the astrological new year, Mercury stations direct at 8 degrees Pisces, the exact degree of the Mars node conjunction. Do you see what's happening here? The universe is circling this 1 degree point over and over again. Mars hits it on the 17th. Mercury retrogrades over it on the 17th. Mercury stations direct on it on TF. This is not subtle. This is the cosmos drawing a giant red circle around one specific point in the sky and saying, pay attention here. This is where your destiny lies. When Mercury goes direct on the scene of the transformation, the fog lifts, the confusion clears, and you finally see the new reality you've been building. The pieces come together. The path forward becomes undeniable. Everything that felt chaotic and overwhelming suddenly makes perfect sense. Because you're not the same person you were 2 weeks ago. You stepped through the portal. You became someone new. Now, let me tell you about the Sabian symbol for 8 degrees Pisces. Because this is where the cosmic message gets incredibly specific. Every degree of the zodiac has what's called a Sabian symbol, a channeled image that reveals the deeper esoteric meaning of that exact spot in the sky. The Sabian symbol for Pisces 8 is a jockey spurs his horse, intent on outdistancing his rivals. At first, that seems completely contradictory to everything Pisces stands for. Right? Pisces is supposed to be about unity consciousness, about dissolving competition, about spiritual transcendence. But here's this intensely competitive image of a jockey furiously pushing his horse to win the race. And here's what this symbol is telling us. The horse represents your physical body, your life force. The jockey is your conscious will, that Mars energy. The race itself is your soul's evolutionary timeline. And what this symbol is saying is that while the goal has to be spiritual, while the destination has to be aligned with Pisces values like compassion and intuition, the method of getting there requires absolute focused determination. This degree is saying you cannot meet this fated opportunity with passivity. You can't just drift and hope things work out. You have to pull out all the stops. You have to focus every ounce of your energy in a determined way. You have to climb into the saddle of your own destiny and spur yourself forward through the mist. It's a call to be a spiritual champion, to use that martial drive not to dominate others, but to aggressively outdistance the stagnant, fearful parts of yourself that want to keep you stuck. And this is where March 17th becomes your moment of truth. Because on that day, the cosmic conditions are perfect for you to make the leap. The energy is aligned. The portal is open. The universe is handing you the reins. But you have to take them. You have to act. Now I need to tell you something that most spiritual teachers won't say out loud. But it's the truth you need to hear. The universe doesn't reward hesitation. It doesn't reward waiting until you feel ready. It rewards decisive action taken in the face of uncertainty. And March 17th is testing whether you're actually ready to claim what you say you want. Because here's what happens to most people. They feel the energy building. They sense the opportunity. They get all the signs. And then, at the last possible moment, they talk themselves out of it. They decide they need more time, more clarity, more proof that it's going to work out. But that's not how destiny works. Destiny doesn't come with a guarantee. It comes with a choice. And the choice is always the same. Do you trust yourself enough to move forward without knowing the outcome? Let me share something with you that changed my entire understanding of cosmic timing. There's a concept in quantum physics called the observer effect. It states that the act of observation changes the behavior of what's being observed. At the quantum level, particles exist in a state of probability until they're measured. The moment you observe them, they collapse into a definite state. Your life works the same way. Right now, your future exists in a state of probability. Multiple timelines are available to you. But the moment you make a decisive choice, you collapse those probabilities into one definite reality. And March 17th is the moment when the cosmic conditions make that collapse easier, faster, and more powerful than any other day this year. Think about it like this. Imagine you're standing at a crossroads in the fog. You can sense that there are multiple paths ahead of you, but you can't see them clearly. You could stand there for hours, days, weeks, trying to figure out which path is the right one. Or you could take one step forward, and suddenly the fog parts just enough for you to see the next step. And then another step, and another. That's what March 17th is offering you. Not a complete map, not a guarantee, just enough light to take the first step. And the universe is saying, that's all you need. But here's where it gets even more interesting. This moment isn't just about you as an individual. This Mars North Node conjunction is happening in Pisces, the sign of collective consciousness, universal love, and spiritual connection, which means the action you take on March 17th doesn't just affect your personal timeline. It sends ripples through the collective field. Every time someone chooses courage over fear, every time someone chooses authenticity over conformity, every time someone chooses to trust their intuition over their conditioning, they make it easier for everyone else to do the same. You're not just changing your life, you're changing the frequency of the entire planet. And right now, the planet needs people who are willing to be the first ones to move, the first ones to take the leap, the first ones to say, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm doing it anyway. Because we're living in a time of massive collective transformation. The old systems are crumbling. The old ways of doing things aren't working anymore. And the new world that's trying to be born needs pioneers. It needs people who are willing to walk into the unknown and trust that the path will reveal itself. That's what the North Node in Pisces is calling for. It's calling for spiritual warriors. People who can hold both strength and surrender. People who can be decisive and intuitive at the same time. People who can take massive action while staying connected to something bigger than themselves. And if you're watching this video right now, that's you. You're one of the pioneers. You're one of the ones who signed up for this mission before you even incarnated into this lifetime. Now, let me tell you about the 3 zodiac signs that are going to feel this energy most intensely. Because while everyone will be affected by the Mars North Node conjunction, there are 3 signs that are positioned to receive what I can only describe as a fated opportunity. A cosmic push. A moment where the universe stops gently suggesting and starts physically shoving you toward your destiny. If you're a Pisces, this is your moment of rebirth. The Mars North Node conjunction is happening directly in your first house, the house of identity, physical presence, and how the world sees you. For years, you've been playing small. You've been the empath, the helper, the one who absorbs everyone else's emotions and carries their weight. You've made yourself invisible so others could shine. But that version of you is dying on March 17th, and it needs to die. Because the universe is handing you an opportunity to step fully into your power without apology. To claim your space, to be seen, to be bold, to finally prioritize yourself without drowning in guilt about it. Mars entering your sign on March 2nd already started this process. You might have noticed a sudden surge of energy, a magnetic quality you haven't felt in years. And now, with Mars hitting the North Node directly in your sign, this is the universe physically pushing you into the spotlight. What does this look like practically? You might get an opportunity to start something new that's entirely yours. A creative project, a business, a completely different path. Or maybe it's about finally asserting yourself in a relationship or situation where you've been letting yourself disappear. Maybe it's about making a decision about your appearance, your health, your physical presence in the world. And because Mercury is retrograde right now and will conjoin Mars on the 15th, this opportunity might involve revisiting something from your past, a dream you abandoned, an identity you let go of, a version of yourself you thought was lost. But here's the critical part. You have to act. You have to embody that jockey symbol. You can't wait for permission. You can't spend weeks overthinking whether you're ready. The cosmic timing is now. And here's the beautiful part. Jupiter, your ruling planet, just stationed direct in Cancer on March 10th, and it's going to trine Mars on March 21st. What that means is that the bold, terrifying leap you take on March 17th, the universe is going to catch you. It's going to expand what you create. It's going to reward your courage with luck, with emotional fulfillment, with this overwhelming sense that you're finally on the right path. If you're a Virgo, this is about surrendering control in your relationships. The Mars North Node conjunction is happening in your 7th house, the house of partnerships, committed relationships, marriage, contracts with other people. And I know this might feel scary, because the 7th house is where you meet the other. It's where you're forced to let someone else into your perfectly organized world. You've been hosting the South Node for over a year now, and the South Node represents what you need to release. For you, that's been about releasing the need for absolute control, the perfectionism, the over-analyzing, the compulsion to have every detail of your life mapped out before you make a move. The lunar eclipse in your sign on March 3rd already started clearing this out. It emptied the vessel, and now the North Node in Pisces is delivering the gift. But the gift requires vulnerability. The fated opportunity arriving for you is relational. Someone might be entering your life, or someone already in your life is about to become infinitely more significant. And this isn't the kind of relationship you can logic your way through. This isn't about compatibility checklists or making sure everything makes practical sense. This is about taking a leap of faith into emotional surrender, into trusting someone even when you can't control the outcome, into allowing yourself to be seen in all your messy, imperfect humanity. Your instinct is to protect yourself by staying analytical, by keeping a safe distance, by never fully letting your guard down. But the universe is asking you to put down the spreadsheet, to stop micromanaging your heart, to risk making a mistake in favor of being fully present. Now, this could also manifest as the opposite. If you're in a partnership that's fundamentally out of alignment with your soul's mission, Mars has a blade, and sometimes the fated action is severance, a decisive, clean cut that removes an obstacle to your growth. Either way, the theme is the same. You're being asked to trust something bigger than your analytical mind, to move from the head to the heart. And with Jupiter going direct in your 11th house of community and future hopes, this is about finding spiritual connection and devotion, not just practical partnership. If you're a Gemini, your public calling is here. The Mars North Node conjunction is happening at the very top of your chart. Your 10th house, the house of career, public reputation, legacy, authority. This is the most visible part of your entire chart. And Mars hitting the destiny point here is not subtle. That's the universe physically pushing you onto the public stage. You've probably been stuck in analysis paralysis for a while now. Every possible career path seems interesting. Every option has merit. But nothing feels like the absolute certain choice. So you've been waiting, gathering more information, weighing more options, staying in motion but not actually moving forward. And the universe is done waiting. The fated opportunity arriving for you is a career or public mission that demands you stop thinking and start doing. You might get offered a sudden promotion, a leadership role you didn't expect, a chance to step into authority during a crisis. Or maybe it's the realization that the path you've been resisting, the one that seems too big, too scary, too visible, is actually your calling. What makes this so powerful for you is that Gemini naturally wants to do everything. You want to keep your options open. You want to run multiple races at once. But the Sabian symbol of the jockey is incredibly relevant here. You have to focus. You have to choose one race and pour your energy into it. And I know that feels uncomfortable. I know it feels limiting. But here's the thing. By scattering your energy, you've been preventing yourself from actually breaking through. The fated action required right now is singular focus. It's blocking out the peripheral noise and committing to one direction with absolute determination. Because Mars demands autonomy. The North Node dictates destiny. Combined in your 10th house, you're being called to lead, not follow, to step boldly into visibility, to build confidence through the sheer act of forward motion rather than waiting for absolute clarity before you move. And here's what I really want you to trust. The path will reveal itself as you walk it. You don't need all the answers before you start. You just need to take the first step with courage. And when you do, the universe is going to meet you there. Now let me tell you what happens after March 17th. Because the energy doesn't just spike and disappear. This is setting a trajectory for your entire year. 2 days after the Mars North Node conjunction. Mercury is going to retrograde back and conjoin Mars again on the 15th. What that means is that the bold action you take on the 17th needs to be followed by reflection, by internal processing, by revisiting and refining. So if you say something intense, if you make a big decision, if you take a leap, give yourself permission to review it, to have conversations about it, to clarify and adjust as needed. Mercury stations direct on the 20th, and that's when your mind finally catches up with your soul's new direction. But here's the part that gives me so much hope. On March 21st, Mars makes an exact trine to Jupiter. And in astrology, a trine between planets in water signs is like an uninterrupted flow of spiritual and emotional support. This is the cosmic reward. This is the universe saying, you took the leap. You trusted. You acted with courage, even when you couldn't see the full picture. And now, I'm going to validate that choice. You'll feel it as increased confidence, as emotional security, as this overwhelming sense that you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Now I want to talk about something that nobody else is going to tell you about March 17th. This date carries a frequency that goes beyond Western astrology. In numerology, March 17th, 2026 reduces to a master number. 3 plus 1 plus 7 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 6 equals 21. 2 plus 1 equals 3. But before it reduces, it holds the vibration of 21, which is the number of the crown, the number of spiritual mastery, the number of someone who has integrated all the lessons and is ready to step into their highest expression. 21 is also 3 times 7. 3 is the number of creation, manifestation, the Trinity. 7 is the number of spiritual awakening, inner wisdom, the mystic. When you multiply creation by spiritual wisdom, you get the energy of March 17th. You get a day when the veil between the physical and spiritual worlds becomes so thin that manifestation happens at lightning speed. This is why the actions you take on March 17th carry so much weight. You're not just making a decision in ordinary time. You're making a decision in sacred time, in a moment when the universe is listening more closely than usual, when your intentions have more power than usual, when the gap between thought and reality is shorter than usual. And here's something that's going to blow your mind. This moment echoes across 18.6 years of your life. The North Node completes a full cycle through the zodiac every 18.6 years. The last time the North Node was in Pisces was from June 2006 to December 2007. And before that, December 1987 to May 1989. If you're old enough to remember those periods, think back. What was happening in your life? What themes were dominant? What spiritual awakenings or crises of faith did you experience? Because March 17th isn't a random event. It's the continuation of a story that's been unfolding across decades. The universe is circling back to the same lesson, the same evolutionary mandate, but at a higher level of consciousness. If you ignored the call in 2006, this is your chance to answer it now. If you took the leap back then, but didn't fully integrate it, this is the completion. The themes are the same. Surrender versus control. Faith versus logic. Service versus perfectionism. But you're not the same. You've evolved. You're ready. This is the spiral of time. The cosmos doesn't repeat. It echoes. And you get to choose whether you repeat the old pattern or finally transcend it. So let me give you the practical action steps for March 17th. Because cosmic energy is beautiful. But if you don't ground it in physical reality, it stays in the realm of potential. And potential without action is just fantasy. First, wake up with intention. Set your alarm early. Don't let March 17th be a day you stumble into half asleep. This is a day you claim from the moment you open your eyes. Before you check your phone, before you talk to anyone, sit in silence for 5 minutes. Place your hand on your heart and ask yourself one question. What is my soul calling me to do today? Don't overthink it. Don't analyze it. Just listen. The answer will come as a feeling, an image, a knowing. Trust the first thing that arises. That's your intuition speaking before your mind has a chance to interfere. Second, write it down. Take a piece of paper and write at the top, March 17th, 2026, my soul's directive, and then write whatever came through in that moment of silence. It might be a single word. It might be a paragraph. It might be a drawing. Whatever it is, get it out of your head and onto paper. This is how you anchor spiritual insight into physical form. Third, take one concrete action toward that directive before noon. This is critical. The energy of March 17th is strongest in the morning hours. Don't wait until evening. Don't tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow. The universe is testing your commitment in real time. So if your soul said reach out to that person, send the message before noon. If it said start the project, open the document before noon. If it said make the decision, make it before noon. It doesn't have to be the final version. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. One concrete step that proves to the universe you're serious. Fourth, spend time in water. Pisces is a water sign. Mars in Pisces responds to water. If you can, take a bath. Go to the ocean. Sit by a river. If none of that is possible, stand in the shower for an extra 5 minutes and visualize the water washing away every doubt, every fear, every story you've been telling yourself about why you can't have what you want. Let the water carry it away, and as it drains, imagine yourself stepping into the new timeline. Clean, clear, ready. Avoid making any major decisions after sunset. The energy of March 17th is front-loaded. The morning and afternoon are when the portal is widest. By evening, the energy starts to settle. So if you're going to take your leap, do it while the sun is still up. After sunset, rest, reflect, let the day integrate, and finally, before you go to sleep, write one sentence in your journal. Today I chose my destiny. That's it. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify it. Just claim it. Because the act of claiming it seals the energetic contract with the universe. Now I want to address something that might be coming up for you right now. Fear. Because if you're feeling the weight of this moment, if you're sensing how significant March 17th actually is, there's probably a part of you that's terrified. And that's okay. That's normal. That's human. But I need you to understand something about fear. Fear is not a stop sign. Fear is a compass. It points you toward the exact thing your soul came here to do. Because if it didn't matter, you wouldn't be afraid. If it wasn't important, you wouldn't feel the stakes. The fact that you're scared means you're close. It means you're standing at the edge of your comfort zone, looking into the territory where your destiny lies. And your ego, which is designed to keep you safe, is screaming at you to turn back, to stay